Hello everyone and welcome back to Urban Rush. You know, if you pay attention to the news, read the headlines, or if you have children, you know that bullying really is an epidemic in our scholastic system and just seems to be in our social world as well.
And it seems to get worse and worse as the years go on. Well, our next guest was definitely bullied and definitely experienced it firsthand. Instead of letting it get to him, what he's done is he's written a book with a very important message, helping out those who are bullied and what we can do to help eradicate obesity, harassment, and bullying. It's called Epidemic. Jordan, Ninkovich, how are you?
Good. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
So tell us maybe a little bit of the reason why you wrote this book.
Well, I wrote the book because I'm on a personal mission. I want to eliminate obesity, bullying, harassment from today's youth and even adults. What I lived through was just absolutely horrible, and I don't, it's continuing. It's even getting worse, and I just. It's a personal mission of mine. I don't want it to continue.
And kids are bullied for all sorts of reasons, whatever way they're different, whether that be their weight, the way they look, their nationality. And for you, it was your weight. You were obese. I broke my heart reading what happened to you when you were in grade 8. You were about 270 pounds at your height of your weight. What was the turning point for you when you decided, I am going to turn my life around? Because looking at you right now, I can't believe that you were almost 300 pounds.
Yeah, well, the turning point for me was it was so psychological, just the torment and the pain, and being alone, right? You look at statistics today. 9 out of 10 parents have no idea that this could be going on, right? And that's, I love my parents. They were loving through the whole thing, but they had no idea.
Yeah,
right?
well, it has nothing to do with the parental involvement necessarily. It's the kids.
It's the kids.
They don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, and the turning point for me was I was at home, and it was so psychological when I say that. I was in the bathroom, and this incident that happened in school kept replaying, and it just took me back to that instant, to a point where like I broke down, started crying, and I just completely wanted to end it all. And if it wasn't just for God and just for that moment in time. My parents came through the bathroom door.
You were suicidal.
It was. It led to that. Even though I don't even throughout the book I preach, don't even go there, right? It's so wrong. But it happens. If it's not suicidal, it's drugs and alcohol. It's a lot of dark things.
Well, okay, we have some pictures of you, Jordan, from when you were in grade 7, I guess it was. What kind of bullying did you experience? Was it solely because of your weight? Were you a complete outcast because of it?
It felt like an outcast. I was a big kid, so I should be the bully, right?
Right. Yeah.
But it wasn't. It's because of my weight and what it led to just a lot of verbal harassment. Some physical, but a lot of verbal. And like the whole old phrase, "Sticks and stones break my bones, words will never hurt me." Yeah. Not true.
Well, and you mentioned in the book, the words are what haunt people throughout their lives.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the book isn't just about the bullying that occurred. It's also about obesity.
It is, yeah.
And something that you had some experience with as well, and how you changed your life. How did you actually set this book up, and how did you write it?
Well, how I wrote it was, if you look at all the self-help books out there today, they're this thick, and every MD and doctor wrote them, and when you read them, they're so dry that your eyes bleed, right? So it's
they're not written for a 14-year-old.
Exactly. So when I wrote this book, I'm like, you know what? I have to get straight to the point. Leave out all the jibber jabber and just have it so easy to read and understand. So it's like a tool. I look at it as a tool, right?
Yeah.
And my big mission or statement in the book is the first steps to even accomplishing anything is your mindset, right? Changing your outlook on life, taking a negative one into a positive one, and that's the keys to everything, right? Because the book entails, part 1 is your mind, goes into a little bit of nutrition, a little bit of physical workout and all that type of stuff. And throughout there, my problem was the obesity and the bullying and the harassment. So the book is helps with that. But through the techniques in the book, if you got a big nose, you got big feet, or you're too short, or where the deal is, whatever ails you and whatever's bothering you, the techniques in the book will help, just change your mindset, achieve your goals.
And that can be the biggest challenge for a lot of these children that are being bullied, that are being harassed at school, is they're looking at everything from this really dark place.
It is. And the thing is, if we don't capture it now, right, they're our future. Right now, the future is looking pretty good. Pretty glim. Right? And you look at some adults, you look in the workplace, it's happening in the workplace, right? And in the book, what I did was, I kind of just, broke out in the open there. I told the untold stories of what happens within those school walls, within those offices, right? And through there, I've shared some personal stories, some actual, right from the journal entries from my own hand, right? Yeah.
And kids will be able to relate with this. It's written for a whole bunch of ages. But if there is a kid out there that is bullied, how should a kid approach talking to someone about it? Because sometimes, like you were saying, you know, being alone was the hardest thing about it. But how do you tell someone? Because kids are always worried about the repercussions of thinking and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly. You know, that's a very good question. And the key thing is for the parents to actually get more involved. Right? The book is more for the parents. It's for everybody, but it's more for the parents because it'll give the insight for the parents to read this book and give them knowledge to say, you know, listen, this is how I can confront my son or daughter or whatever the case is. And even if you lay that for your son or your daughter to read, that it kind of gives them the encouragement to say, listen, you know, it's a true story, and that's what people like to hear. It's not, like I said, it's not some MD writing, you know, medically this is what you should do. You should, you know, take a pill or use a ball and a stick. It's nothing like that. It's you know, here's the true story. You know, people get inspired by that. Right?
Yeah. Well, and we sort of reach these crisis points all the time in society where, you know, a story breaks about a young man who unfortunately carried it farther than you did and actually committed suicide, and then it's a huge crisis, and everyone gets involved, but it seems like that dialogue gets forgotten in the business of just trying to run a school and get kids through and stuff. But we have to address this.
We have to address it, yeah. And like I said before, like the book is a tool. It's one of many. And when I say I'm on a mission, I'm on a mission, right? And what I'm actually doing through my webpage, I'm creating something called the community. Right? That's what I'm calling it right now. And what the community is, it's where you know, you can sign up, go online, and what it is, it's where parents, youth, teens, you know, no matter who you are, you can log on there. It's safe, it's secure, and it's run by ex-teachers, counselors, you know, nutritionists, you know, fitness experts, all these type of things. And it's a safe environment. It's like a safe house, right? You can go on there and say, listen,
and just talk about stuff.
Yeah, you can blog and say, you know, parents, you know, let's say a parent, their daughter is, you know, doing drugs or something like that. Well, you can go on and say, hey, listen, you know, here's my message, blog on there, say, listen, you know, I'm going through this. Any other mother out there?
So you have somebody to reach out and talk to about it.
Yeah. The statement behind it is the community together will eliminate this epidemic, right? Because right now it's so individual. Right? People read the book, I'll sit at home and read the book and hopefully work on all that stuff. No, you know, that's, like I said, it's just one tool of many that we're trying to put together.
Well, Jordan, thank you so much for sharing your story. If you want to find out more about Jordan and how you can get your hands on this book, by the way, it is called Epidemic, Obesity, Harassment, and Bullying. You can go to Jordan's website as well, which is up on the screen for you right now.
And Jordan visits school as well, so if you are a young person out there and you want to have him come to your school, you can contact him through the website as well. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Milestones is celebrating a big anniversary of one of their favorite children. It's called the Bellini.
And who are we not to celebrate too?
It's my favorite child as well.
Do I get to celebrate?
Yeah, you can stick around for a drink.